Good evening. On this late evening, my side of the world, almost dark. But in Europe, at the moment, it gets dark very late. White, self-existing Worldbridger Day. I'm sitting at the edge of a field between trees and forest and more fields, more like meadows, wild meadows. I'm listening to the soughing of the trees, and somewhere in the distance there's fireworks. I'm a bit out of touch, but I believe there's some kind of soccer event going on in the world right now. Something big. I worked in a little town just outside Berlin today, and these areas here are so beautiful. A lot of nature, so if I'm up here, I use the opportunity just to spend the night somewhere. And I just arrived. And I'm huddled in a sleeping bag, warm. My door is open, and I'm looking out over the last bit of blue sky. The sun has set a while ago, but it's not dark yet. It's the blue hour. Beautiful. In the wave spell of the blue night, day 4. Self-existing Worldbridger. Oh, good morning, there's a star. Don't we have this thing in the sky at the moment where Jupiter and Venus, I think, are extremely close together? If I wait a little bit longer and the clouds aren't coming in, I might be able to see something. How are you doing out there? How are you doing in there? It is a Saturday night in this dimension of existence. It may not be in yours right now. When I listen to the soughing of the trees, it's as if my soul remembers, almost forever having heard trees soughing, wind in trees. That's got to be one of the oldest sounds we can remember as a human, or as a biological life form with ears. That sound, like waves washing up on a shore. The ancient melodies of the earth. White Worldbridger, self-existing in the wave spell of abundance, intuition, dream time, maybe the dreaming, dream time. Good evening, Mr. Mosquito. You are welcome here. If you bite me, you're a missus, I expect. It's fine. Let my blood feed your babies. Can only be a good thing. Worldbridger. Death equalize opportunity, and self-existing define measure form. So, how is death defining our abundance? I break into a grin. I love that question. It's a great question. This is a very good conversation. Yeah, death equalize opportunity. Letting go, surrender, embracing. To place surrender and embrace surrender. Surrender into the embrace of life. Let go. Allow it all to be new again. Any moment. No nothing. The wind is listening to me. The trees are too. There's no more soughing of the trees. Yeah, conceited. The wind is listening to you. Well, maybe not. But for a moment, I was thinking, listen to the soughing, not as if it's the oldest thing you've ever heard, not as if it's a sound you've heard in every single life you've ever lived, in every single life virtually that any human has ever lived, but as something that you've never ever heard before. And just as I was trying to listen for the soughing of the trees, I noticed it's quiet. It's not quiet, it's just a little less. There's peace in this part of the world. Deep, deep peace. The Worldbridger. There's a lot of Worldbridger at the beginning of this wave spell. I'm reminded that abundance is the natural state of nature, of life, of existence. And in my life, I'd say wherever there isn't abundance is because for some reason I'm keeping myself from it or not seeing it or whatever. There's a small abundance of clouds coming in overhead, so I expect not to see this Jupiter and who was it? Venus. Venus must be Venus. Dance across the night sky. At any moment in time, we can notice so much, so much. The Worldbridger comes with the Skywalker, best friend, the warrior, furthest away from itself, and somebody blue, the ego and the occult and the unseen. Indeed, when we die, we can't commonly see beyond the veil of death. And yet, perhaps we all do see beyond it. It's just so incredibly natural to all of us that we can't even see that we're seeing it. Except, of course, everyone who sees that they're seeing it. I don't want to talk about death today. I don't want to talk about death today. I have done so in so many episodes. One of my pet topics. And yet today, I want to talk about silence. And I want to keep this short. Who are we guided by today? Self-existing. Tone 4, by the wind, by spirit. By the wind. Hello, old friend. There we are again. Spirit guides the letting go, the surrender into abundance. It gives form. Spirit guides the form-giving nature of surrender. Spirit guides, breath guides the defining nature of death, of letting go, of bridging over, of crossing over, crossing over, crossing over. And in order to cross over, it's like walking. You have to lift your feet off the ground, otherwise you cannot walk. But one foot, if you're walking, is always attached to the ground. Spirit never lets go of our hand, but we have free will. I was chatting with a friend of mine earlier, and he mentioned that the planetary tone in this wave spell is the yellow human. And I was like, wait, I hadn't even gotten that far yet. The planetary tone is so fun. I love that. The planetary tone is really important. It's the manifestation, perfection. The human manifests and perfects itself in abundance, abundantly, in abundance. In the dreaming, in dream time, through dream time, through dreaming, are we but dreaming ourselves? Anybody into sci-fi, although this isn't strictly speaking sci-fi, what would it be? It's a cross between sci-fi and fantasy and whatever called. It's not a trilogy, a quadrilogy. Is that what it's called? Called Otherland. It's a fantastic read. You have to get through one half of a thick, thick book before you're going to start stringing it together. Oh man, I read many years ago. The beginning of it was hardcore. Like, it felt like starting a different book over and over and over and over. Each chapter was completely unrelated to the ones before, and you cannot leave too much time, because by the time you get to a chapter that docks on to another chapter, because there's lots of people's stories that are being told and then they get woven together, you may have forgotten the chapter that talked about the one that this is docking onto. But if you read it in some regular speed, yeah, it's a great read. Inspiration guides this surrender, this world bridging, letting go. How often do we hold on to a state or a thing that is actually less than what it could be, or what we could have, or what we could be, because we think this is the best there is, or because we're afraid to lose? Guilty as charged, Your Honor. I would like to dream my own life, or the possibility of living my own life over and over and over, and upping my level of freedom. There, I can finally, it's taken me till this time in my life, which is a pretty long time, to come to realize that a few decisions I would indeed change. Up until maybe 4 years ago, I was like, wouldn't change a thing. And I would live it over if I couldn't change a thing. It's a fantastic life, I mean, seriously. But I would be curious to know if I had a few less chains, a bit more daring on a few accounts. And I like the idea that that's totally possible, that if I choose that planetary yellow human, free will, influence, wisdom, and planetary manifest, produce, perfect. So in the dreaming, in dream time, if I can decide, it may not be a wise decision to make, so maybe I shouldn't decide, but okay. So what was that thing about courage? That human, incidentally, is guided by the sun. That yellow human is guided by the yellow sun, the planetary human. So all that wisdom is guided by life itself. What can go wrong? Can't make any mistakes. We always choose life. All right. I think that's a nice word to close. Fully aware I haven't said anything of substance. And yet I feel fully satisfied. A shared energy. I've shared a piece of creeping in darkness. The sky is still an undefinable dark light blue gray. Compared to the dark trees over there, the sky is decidedly light, but it cannot be called bright. You can tune me out here. I'm going to sit with you for a moment in silence. I have no idea for how long, but I'm going to sit here for a moment in silence. The other day I asked a friend of mine how his soul was doing. And he asked me, how would I know? How does one talk to one's soul? Good question. When you sit in a very silent place on the edge of a forest or inside a forest, and it's windy a bit, not too much. I don't know, maybe, I don't know how much windy it should be. You hear, it doesn't have to be windy actually. If there are a bunch of tall trees, you hear, maybe for some of you it's completely normal. For me, it's not. It's lately that I've become aware of the noises the trees make, like squeaky noises, squealing like noises, and like giggly sounds. When the branches move, the trees make really funny sounds. That's really cute. Or this gnarly sound. It's just a whole lot of sounds going on. Oh, and have you seen these videos? Apologies, lost my microphone. Have you seen these videos of people who put some kind of sound detecting device or some kind of frequency detector and then some sound making device onto mushrooms? I think they put them onto anything in nature. I've recently seen a few where they put them on mushrooms and then they're like letting us hear the melody of mushrooms, or sometimes not a melody, it's more like a beat. It's pretty funky. All right, me lovies. Me calls it a day now. I'm gonna sit here a little bit longer while my recording exports. Usually takes quite a while. My phone is so full. There's like no cache space left for this exports. Even a 20-minute audio video takes like almost an hour to export. Which means pretty soon, if I don't do something about that, I'm not going to be able to export anything anymore. Yeah. All right. Another problem for another day, hopefully. Yesterday was already a bit tricky, so hopefully, let's see today if I get this exported. I wish us all a beautiful, wakeful time in our dreaming, in our dream time, in our blue night abundance, in our Dying would be offensive to some people, but our world bridging, we die every time we fall asleep. It's like we let go of our consciousness. You could consider that dying. And then we come back online. Anyway, I wish us a beautiful day, a beautiful night, a beautiful morning, a beautiful remainder of a wakefulness of the skywalker, the fearlessness of the warrior, and the vision of the ego, creating intelligent explorations guided by spirit and breath, inspired to surrender and bridge worlds and to embrace the abundant spirit beings that we are. And may we always find ways to share our gifts and our abundance of whatever kind and nature it is with the world around us. Even spirit loves it when we share our abundance, when we remember our angels or our stars in the sky or our ancestors or our beloved memories or our 10 fingers and our 10 toes. They're all part of spirit, as are we. Yeah, so, yeah, time to go. I'll be back, inshallah. Good night from my side. Oh.